Joining me now, Roger Rosmus, CEO of Goliath Resources. Roger, I've known you for a number of years.
Yes.
Now, you earlier told me this is a new project. This isn't the Goliath of prior years. This is a brand new company, 2017.
Correct.
And you've been busy. You've been doing some drilling, and you've pulled some good holes.
Well, we've certainly have pulled some good holes. We don't know what the assays are going to say for us, but just some history behind that, leading up to it, is back in 2017, we did some silt samples in Lorne Creek, which is the most...
And the property is in
northwestern British Columbia, just north of Terrace, BC.
And so there's lots of deposits all over the place in BC.
Yeah, there is. It's primarily sitting in a porphyry belt of copper and molybdenum. What's unique about this situation that we have is we discovered this huge alteration system outcropping at surface.
Outcropping at surface? No overburden?
No overburden, no till, no anything. Like basically the porphyry center is sitting daylighting for us. So in 2018, we did the follow-up from the silt samples, and lo and behold, we found this beautiful porphyry system outcropping at surface. We took about 62 samples, bedrock samples from the porphyry center and the mineralized stockwork.
Right.
And all of those grab samples or bedrock samples, they all ran either with gold, copper, moly, or silver.
All of them?
All of them, yes. The highs were actually gold up to 2.95 grams per ton gold.
Almost 3 grams gold.
Almost 3 grams gold, 133 grams silver.
Which is 4 ounces.
So thereabouts, plus or minus, yes.
And
then 0.34% moly.
And what about copper?
Well, copper, 4.5%.
4.5%, which is high grade.
It's high grade.
Very high grade.
This is up to, and obviously we don't expect our holes to be coming back with these types of numbers. As you know, porphyries are typically massive.
Large,
big systems, which we've actually
maybe characterized sometimes by lower grades.
Lower grade, exactly. So that's why the seniors do like porphyry deposits. They're not chasing narrow vein mining, and you can delineate tonnage fairly quickly and on a very efficient type of a drill program. And then, actually, speaking of the majors, we've got a number of NDAs, confidential agreements signed off with a half a dozen of the world's largest mining companies. Yeah, we do. And actually 4 have been on site, so they're very excited as to what our team has been up to.
Just curious here, I'm a curious guy. How do you determine the angle that you're going to drill? How does that, like, for instance, like you've drilled 3 holes,
yes,
and they were mineralized to depth.
Yes.
But how do you, I mean, was it just lucky? I mean, you could have drilled it incorrectly and missed it, right?
Correct. No, we got lucky. So, and when I say lucky, all 3 holes we drilled started in mineralization, ended in mineralization. All holes are open. There was a total of 1,741 meters drilled. The first hole was due north. We did 718 meters, and the other 2 holes were just over 500 meters. The reason for that was the drill itself had some limitations to it. So the cost of going from 500 to 700, that 200 meters was the same cost of going from 0 to 500 meters. So what we decided, we'd actually use that savings, time savings, cost savings, and do a fly a radiometric airborne, just to give us a really good idea of how big this system truly is. So
you got the results from that?
Coming soon.
Okay.
Coming soon. We just signed a contract on that, I guess it was last week already. So we'll have that incorporated into our drill program for 2020.
So when do you, maybe you don't know the answer to this, but do you know when you're going to start drilling again? Do you sort of have an idea?
It'll be next year, early next year,
This is not an access that you have year-round to, is it?
You could, but it'd be awfully costly. But typically, the window in the Golden Triangle and surrounding area for all these companies are, you get in, you get set up sort of May, June, and then you're rolling up until, maybe to the end of, October, possibly, depending on the weather.
Right.
Because it's all about, you're using helicopters every day. So if the helicopter can't get up the hill, you're paying guys to be sitting around, whatever the team. So, the $5-6 grand a day.
There's a practical aspect to this, right? And you've got to manage.
Of course.
Because junior resource companies aren't flush with money.
Correct.
Or at least exploration companies. And Okay, so you've drilled some holes. You do what do you call it? Airborne,
Yeah, airborne radiometrics.
right.
Just
So
to-
get an idea of potentially the size, right?
Yes.
I mean, because you know where you drill, what it's
Yes.
going to look like. So
Sure.
they should be able to get an idea of how big this potentially is.
Yes.
And at that point, it gets really exciting.
Very, very much so. So the 2017 SkyTem we did, where we drilled, actually, you can see this huge system going to the top of the mountain where we drilled, and actually going down towards the creek as well.
Right.
And you know, it's pretty exciting. So the 50 by 50 line meter will give us even a more definition as to, okay, where are we putting our drill holes for next year? But you know, the idea is we'll drill this like Swiss cheese in 2020.
Now, just so the reviewers know, the ticker is GOT.
Correct.
Okay. And now you have about what? How many shares? About 120?
110 million.
110 million shares.
Yes.
You spread out a lot of shareholders.
Quite a few shareholders, yes. There is a concentration of roughly 50 million shares. Management team, we own roughly 20% of the company. And then there's some various strategic, close friends and funds that high net worth individuals that have accumulated, you know, up to 9.9% of the company. And on that note, we've traded. The viewers can take a look at our chart. Our volumes have been crazy the last little while here. The last 2 weeks, we've traded roughly 45 million shares.
And this is on the back of you coming out and saying you've got 3 mineralized holes all the way, right?
Correct.
This is so. What do you think? I mean, it's don't want to get you to speculate here, but if you've got these commodities in this porphyry system,
Yes.
and you know the size is. Will one of these big companies step in and buy this? Will this is that the way it's going to work?
Well, I think maybe the viewers could look at maybe the deal that Newmont Gold Corp did with GT Gold earlier this year, May. They bought a 9.9% toehold with some additional possibilities to get direct interest in the project. So at the end of the day, in a perfect world, I'd like to retain at least sort of like a 40% interest in the project with a senior or
somebody that's got some deep pockets.
Sure.
and let them, you know,
Sure.
take it over, but you get a free ride, so to speak.
Well, you know, I doubt, well, if we can negotiate
Well,
a 40% free carry, obviously we would, but I'm sure we're going to have to put up a portion of that capital.
Now, are you looking for primarily a gold copper play here, or is this silver is obviously meaningful
Sure.
as well, and is the moly significant?
It's, you know, it's a nice element to have to sort of throw into when you're, you know, looking at what your rock is worth. You know, and based on our silver numbers, we haven't really talked too much about the silver over the last, let's say, 10 months of marketing. I went back and actually went and looked at all the grabs, the bedrock samples we took, and, you know, again, high 133 grams silver.
Yeah.
Where we drilled, you know, we've got that 2.95 grams gold.
These are rocks from the actual from the surface, correct?
Well, this one's from surface, so you can see chalcopyrite.
Oh, okay.
You can see the molybdenum. So, you know, through that process, we did confirm that our chalcopyrite is gold bearing at surface. So everything is looking the same. So logic would suggest, I'm not a geologist, but logic would suggest that any sort of chalco that we're seeing in the core, which we're seeing throughout, should be carrying mineralization. And obviously, you know, nice porphyry textures here. I don't know if that can be, we can throw a picture up on that.
Right.
About 185 meters. This one is down at about 200 and 282 plus or minus.
Right.
Nice porphyry textures here. You can see the chalco, you can see the pyrite, pyrrhotite. And then this one here, again, very classic porphyry textures. Again, you can see the chalco and the pyrrhotite in here. Nice quartz veining. That's at 470 meters. So it seems as we drill deeper.
Does it seem to be the rocks look better?
Yeah, it gets more intense for sure. But all the holes widely disseminated. I'd say highly disseminated. Disseminated throughout the core from
So this is
every 3 holes.
I mean, you'd never, like, what did the stock get to recently? About 13, 14 cents? Did it get that high?
We got to about 13 cents recently.
Recently?
Last year we did trade up to 32.5 cents.
Yeah.
And it had been June, July, but I thought that was probably a little premature because our guys weren't even on the ground at that time. I think a lot of folks were excited that, hey, we found all this beautiful looking material at surface. And I think it got ahead of itself, and then ever since we just
Sure.
we've
No,
kinda, like,
it's been
flattened
a
out.
tough. I mean, I've been around this game for a long time,
Yeah.
and I don't know what's. I mean, I'm glad to see gold starting to get a bid.
Yes.
Silver jumped from about $4 in the last few months.
Yes.
$3-4, and I don't think copper can stay far behind.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed today, but this guy Draghi from the ECB, the European Union, whatever, they're going to start doing more quantitative easing, and so
Yes.
I don't know if that was the news that made gold shoot up this morning.
$25, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's volatile. It's crazy volatile.
Definitely.
Anything else you want to add?
I guess my pitch has always been we're one drill hole away to massive paradigm shift where investors could potentially see a 10 to 30 bagger return. Obviously at the peak when we announce our assays, which I believe are going to deliver the goods.
Yeah.
And if folks take a look at the 2017 chart of GT Gold,
Yeah.
just prior to them announcing their whole with their assays, stock went from 20 cents to 276.
Wow.
And that would have been like a
How many shares were in GT?
14 bagger. The market cap at the peak was just over $200 million. So for us, that would be roughly close to about a $2 share price.
Yeah.
And then another one in the same area code is Garibaldi GGI. Was trading around 10 cents.
Yeah.
They announced their results. That stock went from 10 to over $5
Sure.
a share, which was about a 44 bagger, and I believe at the peak about a $500 million market cap. So
Wow.
for us, our current share capital would share structure would be roughly a $4.75, $5 share price. We're trading at 10 cents. Market cap's
Now,
10 million.
if you pull some really good results here, you'll probably be in a good position to raise some money, right?
Oh yes, yeah. I believe we could be self-financeable because we do have a number of warrants outstanding.
Okay.
Which have forced conversion.
And where are they?
First set's at 20.
Okay.
There's about 11 million there, and then there's a small set at 22.
Sure.
And then there's a bigger set at 30. So if everything gets exercised, it brings in roughly $12.5 million into the till. So ultimately self-financed, and we wouldn't have to go out to market. And that'd be the preferred strategy at this particular juncture.
Roger, thank you very much. We're going to leave it there. Hopefully, we're going to have you back here when these results come out.
For sure.
And we're going to have a party.
Coming soon to a theater near you.